Hi, in this video I'm going to explain you how to solve a typical genetic problem, and the rules that I'm going to use in order to solve this problem can be applied to many other genetics problem. And as usual, I recommend you to stop video here, read the problem, questions, and try to solve this problem. For those of you who don't know how to solve this problem, here's my explanation. So here's a problem. In epistasis, two alleles of the gene mask the expression of alleles of another gene, so that some expected phenotypes never appear. In a sweet pears, genes C and P, or capital C and capital P, are necessary for colored flowers. In the absence of either of these dominant alleles, and here is two possible genotypes, or both of them together, the flowers are white. What will be the color of the offspring of the following crosses, and what proportions will they appear? So once again, when we have genotypes, that is would be homozygous for both alleles, we would have no color. For example, if we have two genes, and this is going to be our first gene, and this is going to be second gene. Both of these genes are represented with two types of alleles. One is dominant and another one is recessive. So we see one dominant and one recessive allele in the first pair. The same thing here. So this plant would have color. But here we have two alleles that is recessive for the first pair and two alleles that is also recessive for the second pair. So this, for example, plant wouldn't be able to produce a color. And if we take this example, as you see, the first pair has one dominant allele, so would be able to produce color plus second pair of allele. So this would be a plant with color, but here we see that only first couple of alleles would have one dominant allele, and the second couple of alleles wouldn't have dominant allele. So this plant wouldn't be able to express the color. And here, now I think you would be able to answer this question. This parent on the left wouldn't be able to produce a color, and this one on the right also wouldn't be able, because we need at least one dominant allele in each pair. So let's now try to solve the first problem. So we have two parents. So let me write down this genotypes of both parents here. So this is going to be capital C and small c, and capital P and small p, and we cross with small c and small p genotype. So how we are going to solve this problem? First of all, when we cross two parents with different genotypes, we have to find what kind of gametes they can produce. For example, we may say that this is going to be a female parent and this is going to be a male parent. We can change places, so the male parent would be on the right and female would be on the left. That doesn't affect our problem. So what kind of gametes female parent here on the left can produce? And the first would be capital C and capital P, capital C and capital P. Second would be capital C and small p, capital C and small p. Third variant would be small c and capital P, small c and capital P. And fourth variant would be small c and small p. So as you see, this would be four types of the gametes. And parent on the right, male parent, would be able to produce only one type of gametes. That is going to be small c and small p. And as you see, all the rest would be the same. So here we would have also small c, small p. here we would have small c, small p, and here we would have small c, small p. So parent on the right, male parent, would be able to produce only one type of gametes. So male gametes would be sperm, and female gametes would be egg. So this is going to be egg cell, and this is going to be a genotype of each egg cell. And of course, gametes would be haploid. So this is going to be G, and this is going to stand for the gametes, and this is going to be P, that is stand for the parent generation. And now we have to find what would be possible genotypes of the F1 generation, and here we would have F1 generation. So first variant would be capital C from here, and small c from the only one type of sperm from the male, and capital P from female side, and small p from the male side. So this small p goes from here, this small c goes here, and this capital C go here, and this capital P go here. So this would be the first possible genotype. As you see, once again, this is going to be diploid organism, this is haploid, and parental generation, of course, also would be diploid. So this would be the first possible genotype. Second possible genotype would be capital C and small p, small p. Once again, this C goes here, this small p goes here, and this parent gives small c and small p. So this is going to be a second possible genotype of the progeny. The third one would be small c, capital P and small p. Once again, small c here, capital P here, and once again, small c here, and small p goes here. And the last possible genotype would be small c, and small p, small p. So 4 different genotypes here. This is one genotype, this is second, third, and fourth. And as you see, now we have ratio. And ratio here would be 1 to 1 to 1 and to 1. So let's now analyze which would be colored and which not. So we have to have at least one dominant allele in each pair. So here in the first genotype we have one dominant allele in the first pair and one dominant allele in the second pair. So this is going to be colored. So I would use red color here. So this is going to be colored. But here we see that second pair of alleles doesn't have dominant allele, so this wouldn't have color. Here in the first pair of alleles we don't have dominant allele, so this also wouldn't have color. And here both allelic pairs doesn't have dominant alleles, so this also wouldn't have a color. So we have 25% plants that would have flowers that is going to have color, and 75% that wouldn't have a color. So ratio would be 1 to 3 or 25% to 75%. Now we can move to the question B, and let me clean the space here. So the answer for the first question would be 25% colored and 75% that wouldn't be colored. And question B, we have two genotypes. Let's write them down. One would be capital C and small c, capital P and capital P, and we have to cross with another genotype that is capital C, small p, small p. So once again, the first possible gametes, variants of genotypes for the gametes would be capital C and capital P. Second variant would be, once again, capital C and capital P. Here we would have small c, capital P, and small c, capital P. So actually this is going to be 1/4 here, 1/4 here, 1/4 here, and 1/4 here. But as you see, these two genotypes are the same, and these two genotypes are also the same. So we can say that we have only two type of genotypes. One half would be this genotype, and one half this genotype. So let's analyze what kind of genotypes the second can produce. And here we see first one would be capital C and small p, and once again capital C and small p, and small c, small p, and small c, small p. Once again, we only have here two type of genotypes, and this is going to be capital C and small p, and small c, small p. One half for one type of genotype, and one half for the second. So if we cross these two gametes, they would produce diploid organism. For example, if we cross this one with this one, we are going to get capital C, and capital P, small p. And this is going to be one type of genotype. Another one would be if we try to cross this genotype with this genotype, and this is going to be capital C, small c, and capital P, and small p. And now let's do the same for the second allelic pair that is here, and we cross with this variant, and this is going to be capital C, small c, and capital P, small p. And now we have to cross the same genotype with second pair, and this is going to be small c, and capital P, small p. So once again we have four genotypes here, diploid organisms, and this is going to be F1 generation, and this is going to be gametes, and this is going to be parental generation. So here we would have, as you see, two dominant alleles for the second pair and one dominant allele for the one pair. So this is going to be a colored plant, and next genotype also would be colored plant, and here we also would have colored plant, and here, because the first allelic pair doesn't have a dominant allele, this is going to be non-colored plant. So now, as you see, we have ratio 3 colored plants to 1 that is not colored. So this is going to be answer for the second question. So here we would have 75% of the plants that is going to be colored, and 25% that is going to be non-colored. And the last example, now I think you would be able to solve this problem on your own. You may try to do it. And here is my explanation. So we would use the same technique. So here we would have one parent that is going to be capital C, and small p, and we have to cross with another parent that is going to be small c, and capital P, small p. So first variant for the gametes would be, for this parent would be capital C and small p, and the same here, so I wouldn't list it, and this is going to be the second variant, small c, small p, and the same here, so I won't list it. We only count unique variants of the gametes and their frequencies, and here would be the same frequency, 50% for this variant and 50% for this variant. So let's see what we have with the second parent, and here we would have first variant of the gametes that is going to be small c and capital P, and second variant would be small c and small p, and once again here we would have small c and capital P, we already have it here, and small c, small p, we already have it here. So 50%, this parent would produce 50% of their gametes small c, capital P, and the second variant would be small c and small p. So let's also cross them, and for the F1 generation we are going to get the following genotypes. So let's cross this and this parents, this and this gametes. So this is going to be capital C, small c, and small p, capital P. So this is going to be our first variant. The second variant would be to cross this gamete with this gamete, and this is going to produce genotype that is going to be capital C, small c, and small p, small p. Now we can use this pair of alleles, and this cross would produce small c, small p, and capital P, and this cross would produce small c, and small p, small p. So as you see, 4 genotypes possible for F1 generation, and here in the first example this is going to be colored plant. Second wouldn't be able to produce color because second allelic pair doesn't have dominant allele P, and here third variant we would have also non-colored plant because this parent doesn't have this genotype doesn't have dominant allele C in the first allelic pair, and here also we would have genotype that is not going to be able to produce colored plants. So the ratio would be once again 25% plants that is going to be colored and 75% that wouldn't be able to produce color. So why, probably I should said it at the beginning, why it is possible that we have 2 genes and one gene affect another one, if the color would be produced or not. Imagine that we have 2 genes, so this would be gene 1, or as in our example C, and this is going to be gene P, and both of these genes would produce, for example, protein. So this is going to produce this protein, and this gene would produce these proteins. And as usual, proteins aggregate, and we would have one protein that is going to take its active form. And imagine that, for example, here we would have small c allele, and the protein would be misshaped, for example, like this, and of course this final protein wouldn't be active, so the plant wouldn't be able to produce color. And the same rule applies to the second gene. If we would have a small p allele here, that is also going to be misshaped, even if we have a normal allele that is capital C. If we combine this with normal allele C, we also wouldn't be able to produce normal color. So, and of course, when we have two pieces that would be misshaped, also they wouldn't be able to make normal protein that affects the color of the plant. So, because we are diploid organisms, and plants also, most of the plants also diploid, as in our example, plants would have two sets of chromosomes, one from the mother side, another from the father side, and would be able to have different variants of alleles. For example, capital C can be, this allele can be on one of the chromosomes and small c on another one. And here we may have also dominant allele on one chromosome and small allele p on another chromosome. So in our cell we would have 4 different types of proteins, and 2 normal proteins would be able to make normal protein, and of course they can aggregate in different forms, but at least 25% would be able to produce normal protein, and sometimes it is enough for the plant to express the color. But if we would have here 2 alleles that wouldn't be able to produce normal protein, we wouldn't be able to get this protein also. And the same here. If we would have 2 small alleles here, we also wouldn't be able to get this protein here. And of course, if we would have here 2 normal alleles, or capital C, and here if we would have capital P, so 100% of the different variants of the aggregation would produce normal protein, and the color would be expressed. And this is theory of the epistasis, when one gene can affect another gene. Sometimes this can be example as I use it here. Sometimes it can be when one gene affects expression of another gene. So this would be the different variant when, for example, this gene wouldn't be able to affect expression of this gene, if even this would be normal. So the color also wouldn't be able to produce. So there are different variants of epistasis exist, and this is just one of the example. And now I hope you would be able to solve analogous problems, and you would be able to find different gametes that one genotype would produce, and you would be able to find genotypic ratios, and of course you would be able to find genotypes of the progeny, and you also would be able, looking at the genotype, tell what is the phenotype this genotype produce. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.